Welcome friends. Today we focus our discussion on the paper Ethics. Definition of ethics. The word ethics is derived from the Greek word ethika, which comes from the word ethos. Ethos means customs, usages or habits. Ethics is also called moral philosophy. The word moral is derived from the Latin substantive mos, which means customs or habits. Customs are not merely habitual ways of acting. They are ways approved by the group. Literally, ethics means the science of customs or habits of man. It is the science of habitual conduct of man. Habits are the expression of settled disposition of the will or character. Character is the permanent habit of willing, the inner bent of the mind, which is expressed in habitual conduct. Character is the inner counterpart of conduct, which is its outer expression. Thus, ethics is the science of character and conduct. It evaluates the voluntary action and habitual action of persons and considers their rightness and wrongness. It evaluates the character of persons and considers its virtuousness or viciousness. Ethics is the science of rightness and wrongness of conduct. Conduct is purposive action, which involves choice and will. It is the experiences of character which is a settled habit of will. The will is the self in action. Thus, ethics is the science of human character as expressed in right or wrong conduct, but the rightness or wrongness refers to the good, which is the ideal of human life. Thus, ethics is the science of the highest good. It is the science of morality. Unlike psychology, ethics concerned with evaluation of conduct with reference to an ideal. It teaches us how we can pass correct moral judgments upon human conduct, consider it as right or wrong with reference to the supreme ideal of human life. Ethics is a science of the ideal involved in human life. It is the science of the highest good of man. Therefore, ethics may be defined as the science of the highest good. It is the science of highest end or purpose of human life. Mackenzie defines ethics as the study of what is right or good in human conduct or the science of the ideal involved in human life. The ideal involved in human life includes truth, good and beauty. Ethics is the science of the moral good of man. Nature of ethics. Ethics is a science which is a systematic knowledge. It deals with human conduct together with the inner volitions and their motives systematically. It is a science in so far as it depends upon observation, classification and explanation of human conduct with reference to an ideal. Science can be classified into positive or descriptive science and normative science. Positive science is that which deals with what is. On the other hand, normative science deals with values. The sciences which are studied in the laboratories of our universities are descriptive or positive sciences. They describe objects or phenomena as we observe them with our eyes and other sense organs. There is in a positive science no question of judging its objects in any way. For example, a botanist never judges whether a certain plant is good or bad or beautiful or ugly. A positive science deals with facts and explains them by their causes. It tries to know what a thing really is by discovering its relation to other things, especially its causal relations. A positive science is also called a natural science. They are concerned with facts or events and investigate certain uniformities or laws which govern them. They describe the ways in which certain classes of objects are found to exist in nature. They have no direct reference to any end or ideal by reference to which facts are judged. On the other hand, normative science seeks to determine norms, ideals or standards. There are three ideals of human life: truth, beauty and good. These are the supreme values in human experience. They correspond to the three aspects of our conscious life: knowing, feeling and willing. Logic is concerned with the general conditions involved in the pursuit of truth. Aesthetics is concerned with the certain and appreciation of beauty. Ethics is concerned with what is right in human action in the pursuit of good. Thus, logic, aesthetics and ethics are normative sciences because they are concerned with the ideals of truth, beauty and good respectively. They are concerned with norms, ideals or values. They are not concerned with facts or events that happen in nature. Logic is the science of truth. Ethics is the science of good. Aesthetic is the science of beauty. Truth is the ideal of knowledge. Good is the ideal of will. Beauty is the ideal of feeling or emotion. Ethics is not a positive science. It is not concerned with the nature, origin and growth of human conduct. It does not explain human actions by means of certain laws. It is not concerned with conduct as a fact or event in space and time. It is concerned with judgment upon conduct, its rightness and wrongness. Ethics is not concerned with human conduct as it is, but as it ought to be. It passes judgment of value upon human action with reference to the moral ideal. It is not concerned with judgments of fact, but with judgments of value. Judgments of facts are judgments of what is. Judgments of value are judgments of what ought to be. The former are called factual judgments, while the latter are called critical or appreciative judgments. Thus, ethics is not a positive science, but a normative science. A normative science is also called a regulative science. Normative sciences are not concerned with actual facts or their laws, but with norms which regulate human life. Normative sciences deal with values. They give us systematic valuing of our voluntary actions. They do not merely describe the standards by which we judge. They are also concerned with the validity of truth of these standards. Ethics has been defined as the normative science of conduct, and conduct is a collective name for voluntary actions. A voluntary action is an action that a man could have done differently if he had so chosen. Voluntary actions include all willed or volitional actions in which there is conscious process of willing, like the actions of a student matriculating in a university. There are several terms commonly used in judging human actions by ethical standards. We say that an action is good or bad, right or wrong, moral or immoral. We say that we ought to do an action, that we should do it, or that is our duty to do it. The words ought and duty certainly apply only to right actions, but they suggest certain other things about these right actions. A. That they are obligatory on a particular individual. B. That there are tendencies in the mind of the doer making him disinclined to do them. And C. That one and only one action is right at a particular moment. The word morals is used with a variety of meanings. For the science of ethics itself, for action regarded as good and right, and for the rules according to which such actions are done. It was originally derived from the Latin word mos, meaning customs. The word ethics also derived from a Greek word also meaning custom. This normative science tells not what man actually do and actually think it right to do. It tells what man ought to do and what they ought to think it right to do. In this, we study the standards by which we judge actions to be right and wrong, good and bad. The description of standards will develop into an investigation of the validity of the standards, and we may call this investigation moral philosophy. There can be no sharp division between ethics and moral philosophy.